Hello, this is Ferris Khan, and thank you for returning to my Bronco channel. And if you're new, thank you for checking this channel out. I have a two-door Bronco. The price of that Bronco is $30,555 when I bought it. The topic of this video is actually now that the Maverick is out and is about to be sold, I wanted to actually cover whether the Maverick is a better buy, a better deal than the Bronco. I believe that the Base Bronco, I recorded this in a previous video, is really a price hack. It is priced lower than it should be. And I also now believe that the Maverick is even more so. I really cannot believe how low the price is for the Maverick, given the types of use cases that are available. So it seems a little strange, but if I were to kind of look for a vehicle today, the question is, would I actually look towards the Maverick instead of the Bronco? Now, let's first kind of cover the Bronco that I have. It's a two-door Bronco. It is four-wheel drive. It has cool things like a crawler gear. It is a manual transmission. The doors can come off, the roof can come off. It's versatile that way. It's versatile for fun. It can be a daily driver. I've taken some air out of the tires and basically made it a little bit more comfortable for me. Suffered a little bit in the gas mileage. I had over 21 miles or maybe 21 miles per gallon, sometimes over. That has been reduced to about 19 to 20. I believe it's because I've taken air out of the tires. They were overinflated when I got them, and then I kind of put it to spec, basically what you see in the door. More comfortable ride, however. So that's where I'm at with the Bronco. I'm pleased with it. It does not have that much room in the back. So it is, you really have to kind of plan things out if you're making a trip to, let's say, Lowe's or Home Depot. My particular model, I ended up getting the roof rack with crossbars, and I got the auxiliary switches. So I only have two options. And basically, the way I look at it is this vehicle is kind of like a Lego set. And I've started with kind of a base version, and then over time, I can upgrade it with accessories. One other thing I'll say is that I got a whole bunch of Ford Pass points, partially due to some of the troubles that they had with the launch of the Bronco. They gave Bronco people who had reserved a Bronco some additional Ford Pass points. Those points can be used on accessories. So sort of think that through as you're configuring maybe even the Maverick. Maverick is unlikely to be delayed like the Bronco was. However, you are going to get some points, and perhaps you want to use them for accessories instead of paying for them upfront, or for accessories later after you get the vehicle instead of paying for them upfront. All right, so just to recap, the price of my vehicle was $30,555. That included the destination charge. Let's go to the Maverick. Now, this is the base. What we're looking at is the Base Maverick. It is still known as the XL Super Crew. The price, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom here just so you can kind of see it, is $19,995. Destination charge $1,500 roughly. So we are looking at a vehicle that's $21,500. So it is almost $10,000 less than the Bronco. And in terms of use cases, an argument could be made that this thing could do 90% of what the Bronco can do. And it can totally outperform it in other areas, such as miles per gallon and trips to Home Depot, utility, use as use as a daily driver, etc. All right, so let me go up to how I would configure the Maverick. If you look at the base model, you've got basically grayscale. This is all of these colors are grayish, white gray, kind of sort of black and white variations here. And then it has actually one real color, which I'd call a real color, and that is the Velocity Blue. I would get it with the Velocity Blue. I love that it has the steel wheels. I want to kind of talk about how I get a lot of feedback on my Bronco because it's a base. People, even though it has, I think maybe some people think of the negative of the Bronco base is that it has very large size wheel wells. It has relatively small tires. People don't notice that. They see the vehicle, they see the steel wheels, they think retro, and they're thinking the late 60s, early 70s Bronco. And they love how it looks so retro. Now, part of it might be that it's a two-door. Yes, I get it, but I like the steel wheels. I understand it's a matter of taste, but I really like the steel wheels. All right. There's only one equipment group that you can get. So we, not much choice there. So I'm going to just kind of skip past that. I am interested in the Ford Copilot. That is something that I cannot get on my Base Bronco. I'll get back to that later. Let me see if there's any other options that I want. I wouldn't get any of these accessories that you can kind of get after the fact. Would I upgrade? I'm going to keep scrolling here. Would I upgrade the engine? Well, if you upgrade the engine, you can go from the 2.5 liter hybrid engine to a 2.0 liter EcoBoost engine. What's going to happen though is you're going to suffer in gas mileage. This is amazing that in this 2.5 liter hybrid engine, you're actually getting 40 miles per gallon highway, which is a crazy number for a base vehicle. And this is just amazing, because think of this like a Prius. Basically, in a way, a competitor to the Maverick might be the Toyota Prius, even though it's a totally different looking vehicle. The difference, though, is, let's go back to Maverick. The difference, though, is this thing can hold 5 people. Mine can hold 4. This is 5, and the Prius perhaps 4 or 5. Okay, but then it has a whole bed in the back, and that bed can hold 38 bags of mulch. And I love how Ford kind of explained it that way, because that is very relatable to me and other people who go to Home Depot or Lowe's on the weekends and they pick up mulch. I used to have a Mustang. My Mustang could hold, I think, 11 bags of mulch if I used the back seat, and I took the convertible top down. I was very proud of it. This thing can hold 5 people and/or, depending on weight, you want to go over in weight, but and/or 38 bags of mulch. That is crazy for a vehicle that is relatively small. I say small, but this vehicle is it is longer than my 2-door Bronco. My Bronco is taller. I've seen it up in person. It is bigger than you think. It is relatively small, but it's bigger than you think. An F-150 is a huge vehicle. This vehicle is what I would say for many people, especially maybe in the city, that need to do parallel parking, things like that. This is sort of a right-sized vehicle as a truck. All right, so getting back to the engine itself, it is a $1,000 upgrade to change the engine, to upgrade the engine, and then you've got to pay an additional, I believe, $3,000. You're really getting close to $2,500 instead of the $25,000, sorry, instead of the $21,500 if you want 4-wheel drive. For me, actually, I'm sorry, if you want all-wheel drive. For me, I will give up that use case, that sort of that off-roading, heavy-duty or light to medium-duty off-roading. I would give up that use case if I were getting a Maverick. Now let's keep going. Also has a continuously variable transmission, something that I've been very interested in over the years. You actually won't feel the shifting as much, so that's really kind of a cool thing. It'll probably be a lot smoother than you think with that continuously variable transmission. Hondas are known for that, for those of you who drive Hondas. So the only thing that I would add to this vehicle is that Copilot. And when I do that, what we're looking at for the price point of this is just over $22,000. So $22,000 for this. versus 30,000. Let's give you the exact number here. 30,555,000 for my Bronco. Is it worth the, we were talking about $8,500 to go to the Bronco? If you're looking at it from a pure use case perspective, maybe not. This thing is probably going to be a better daily driver. Its cost, meaning the Maverick, its cost of ownership is probably going to be lower. They both have an 8-inch screen. So in terms of technology, I think it's going to be relatively similar. And with this Maverick, you are getting the co-pilot. I'll give you details so you can kind of see, this is something that the Bronco does not offer. So it's a safety feature that is kind of a like to have today, but in the next few years, this is going to be a must-have. So I would think you're actually getting a little bit more technology out of this Maverick as well. Now, you can't take the doors off. You can't take the roof off. You can't go off-roading. You can't use the crawler gear to go 2 miles an hour and get 1 mile an hour and get maximum torque, or go 3 miles an hour and get almost maximum torque there. It is not a manual transmission, so it's not, perhaps it's not as fun to drive. It will not get noticed as much as a Bronco. However, you can put all kinds of accessories on this. You probably cannot go heavy duty off-roading, but you could probably take it to some place where you could go camping. You could get to the head of the trail instead of actually taking the trail. Let's kind of look at it that way, right? So all this being said, would I buy a Maverick instead of a Bronco? I think the only thing that would hold me back is that it is not made in the United States. So if this thing was made in Michigan, if this was made, in a plant, let's say in Michigan, for example, where Bronco is, I would seriously have second thoughts about the Bronco. So that's the only thing holding me back. Other than that, I cannot really see how this is not the ultimate price hack. If you thought, seeing my previous video, that the Bronco was a price hack, this is a whole different level. Really the competitors for this at $22,030, including destination charge. I mentioned Prius earlier. It could be a Prius, but the Prius is going to cost you way more than that. What kind of vehicle? I want you to think about any vehicle ever in the history of the automotive world that is $20,000, that can hold 5 people, that can hold 38 bags of mulch, and that can get 40 miles per gallon on the highway. I can't think of any. If you can, put it in the comments below. And I'm talking about new vehicles. I'm not talking about a used vehicle. I'm talking about a brand new vehicle. And it also brings to mind, maybe the competitor to Maverick is literally used vehicles, because I just can't see, purely from a utilitarian standpoint, from a cost of ownership standpoint, I cannot see a better deal than the Maverick at this point. So those are my thoughts. Would I switch someday? Maybe I'll switch someday. I have a reservation on an F-150 Lightning. I originally thought that, hey, this might take a little while. Actually, it might be that this vehicle, the F-150 Lightning, is available next spring. So I'll have to make a decision in terms of whether I'd go to a truck. I do wish that the F-150 Lightning had a Maverick version. That would make that decision a lot easier. I would go straight into electric, and then I would finagle a way of maybe keeping my Bronco somehow as kind of an alternative to a classic car, something that I just keep forever. Maybe that's the way I'll eventually go. So if you have any other comments, please let me know as to whether you think the Maverick is a price hack, and my rationale for this. I appreciate you watching my video, and hope to see you soon.